Hello, I'm Jackaleen, your polyamattorney. Have you been advised of your rights? I'm speaking, of course, of those rights enumerated in a proposed secondary's Bill of Rights, originally released in 2003 to much fanfare over its revolutionary nature. It's been most recently updated in 2020 because some men just don't let the allegations stop them. I myself learned about it because it's mentioned by Eve Rickert in the foreword to this book. Today I'll review with you all of the elements of this important document in polyamorous history. You have the right to be treated with honesty, integrity, compassion, and sensitivity to your needs. You have a right and a responsibility to set clear limits on obligations you are making. You have the right to balance between what you give to a relationship and what you get back from it. You have the right to know information that impacts your sexual health. You have the right and responsibility to clearly understand the terms of a relationship, perhaps especially important for non-monogamy. You have the right to be a part of discussions about decisions that affect you wherever possible and practical. Possible and practical seems open to interpretation. We'll have an entry-level associate research it. You have the right to ask your partners to compromise and seek to reach a middle ground where possible. You have the right to relationships with people, not relationships. You have the right to time with each individual separately as well as in groups. That's odd. If you and I were dating the same person, that wouldn't entitle you to my time unless you were paying in 6-minute increments like everyone else. You have the right to expect that plans made with your partner will not change at the last minute just because a primary partner had a bad day. That one sounds familiar. There might be precedent for this. Hardy and Easton. In The Rights of the Single Slut, write, "You have the right to have dates and plans honored, not changed by a third party simply because that person has seniority. You have the right to be treated as an equal individual, which is different than being treated as an equal partner. You have the right to enjoy new relationship energy within reason, passion, and special moments with your partner without guilt or apologies. You have the right to privacy, as much as any American. You have the right to be told the truth at all times." Oh, some of these are fun. You have the right to have and express all of your emotions. That one also seems familiar. You have the right to have your feelings heard, respected, and responded to. You have the right to be not just tolerated, but actively wanted by everyone in the primary relationship. You have the right to feel that you are not a problem or a compromise, but that you add value. Little tricky to enforce a right to a feeling. It may sound unreasonable to some people. Compassion demands that everyone involved work to resolve any resentment that may exist on the part of any of the members of a primary relationship toward the secondary relationship. Yes, we'd all like to have positive relationships with our polycules, and we'd all like to have clean beaches to walk on, but sometimes you settle for a few $1,000s from Exxon and polite neutrality from your boyfriend's girlfriend. You have a right to have a voice in the form your relationship takes. You have a right to have your partner and your partner's partner hear you and consider what you say. That doesn't mean they have to do whatever you say, but it does mean that you can and should have a voice. Let's not pretend to be surprised when we see that Hardy and Easton also wrote, "You have the right to ask for anything you want. The person you ask may not give it to you, but you are definitely allowed to ask. You have the right to set boundaries, including boundaries on your space, time, and emotional intimacy." It's amazing that 25% of this man's revolutionary document had been published 6 years earlier by 2 femmes. You have the right to have and set limits, what you will and will not do, what is and is not negotiable for your emotional well-being and personal ecology. Hardy and Easton are like the John Locke to Franklin Vaugh's Thomas Jefferson. Is that joke obscure enough to not be problematic? I'll let you decide. You have the right to pursue friendships outside the primary couple. I should hope so. And you have the right to walk away. Yes. Otherwise, it's a crime. Hardy and Easton listed a few other rights as well. Some of them are general relationship rights. You have the right to be treated with respect. You have the right to be valued, welcomed, and respected as the wonderful human being that you are. You have the right to refuse to be a dumping ground for someone's marital woes. You have the right not to be blamed for problems in other people's relationships. You have the right to chicken soup when you are sick and whatever other emergency support you may need. Everyone deserves those things, but the law favors those who help themselves. If you're relying on a more casual partner for emergency support, I recommend you have backup options. You have the right to negotiate family holidays like Thanksgiving and weekends involving your own and your lover's children. You are a member of any family you're in a relationship with. This one might not be widely recognized. I was first in my class, of course, but as a secondary partner, I haven't always been first on people's Christmas invite list. As a polyamattorney, I advocate absolutely for you knowing your rights, and lists like these have tremendous value in helping you review your relationships to make sure they're meeting your needs. And if they're not, you can file suit in the... Actually, I think it might be a commission that you... Maybe it's a local ombudsman? If your rights are being violated, all you can really do is complain to the person or persons violating your rights. And if that doesn't work, you exercise your right to walk away. That'll be $400. Have my paralegal validate your parking.